Hey everybody, my name is Tony DeRico, and I'm thrilled to introduce myself to you and to be joining this great class. I'm going to go out on a limb here and assume that I'm the oldest student in the class, but we'll wait and see on that. As it relates to the 5 questions I want to answer for you, the first one is my biggest fear. Um, Ironically, and I say ironically because of my love of being on the water recreationally, I spend so much time there. My biggest fear is drowning. And so, for a guy who is afraid of drowning, I don't do a whole lot to mitigate that risk given the time that I spend on the water. If I had a superpower, I would say it would be to have the power to grant a healthy self esteem to somebody. Um, Throughout my career, I've mentored dozens of young women and men, and with very little exception, the thing that I see most common in people who struggle, either personally or professionally, um, relates to having an unhealthy sense of self. And conversely, the thing that I see in people who are thriving in their lives, both personally and professionally, it usually relates to a healthier sense of self. So I, I wish I could fix that in people, and I can't. Um, because I know that it's something that has to come from within them, but I know it would have such a great impact. Um, a living person that I admire most, I usually go to U.S. presidents for some reason. I'm a little bit of a geek like that, and I would have to say that the U.S. president who is presently living that I admire most is George W. Bush, and I want to explain that because it's not because of his politics or his performance as a president. I think Bush will go down in history as a good president. I don't know that he'll go down in history as a great president. However, what I admire about him is how he's handled his post White House life and reaching people across the entire political spectrum in his philanthropic activities and his activities and how he's choosing to live out his life after the White House. Guilty pleasure for me is reading fiction junk. The junkier the better. Mass market trash. I love thrillers. I inhale them. I generally have at least two going at once and an audiobook, so it's something that I enjoy as my entertainment, especially given the amount of business reading that I have to do in my professional career. It's definitely a lovely outlet for me. And last is my bumper sticker. I so many came to mind, but the one that I think that I would want on my car is would say something like, "Grandchildren are your reward for not killing your kids." Um, I think I've seen that somewhere before. I don't think it was on a bumper sticker, but as great a joy as being a parent was in my life or is in my life, being a grandparent is an even greater joy. And I hope all of you get to experience that one day. Anyway, it's been a pleasure to share these things with you, and I hope I get to meet some of you either virtually or in person soon. Thanks a lot.